Well, good morning, good morning, good morning. It is 1 minute past the top of the hour. Yours truly, Joe Dupree in the building from 100 BLK, the Black Station at www.the100blk.com. How you doing on this Tuesday morning, first day of July? Oh, man. Good morning. That's what I got to say about that, y'all. Woo, family. It is July. And before you know it, July will be here and gone. But it's the first day of July. So we make our way to the 4th of July weekend. This broadcast is being brought to you by DUBBY. It is Doobie or W, however you want to say it. It is the energy drink that keeps us podcasters and us gamers going. You can check them out on my website. They are a major sponsor of this broadcast, along with Ford. I drive one. You need to drive one. I drive a Ford Explorer. It's very nice. They got the F-150. They got the Edge. They got the Mustang. Look, go to your local Ford dealer, test drive a Ford. Tell them Joe Dupree sent you. Also, we'll be there Thursday. We'll be in the building. It begins 4th of July weekend. It is the Essence Music Festival of Culture. This is our 31st time being there down in Grand Old New Orleans. You can catch us at the Morial Convention Center, or you may be able to catch us also at the Superdome. We're going to be at the nighttime concerts, and we're going to be at all the free daytime events at the Morial Convention Center. So let me talk about Essence for a minute, because folks are asking me 50 million questions about Essence. 50 million questions. When I say 50 million, I get 50 million of them. So good morning, everybody. Click like and share. Good morning, Willie Pickens. Good morning to everybody logging in. Take time, click like and share. Tell a friend to tell a friend. It is your early morning wake up with the early morning wake up crew. Yours truly, Joe Dupree, in the building, telling you to get up, wake up, wake up. It is Tuesday morning, first day of July. It is the first of the month. It's time to get up, y'all. Let's get it. Okay, Essence Music Festival of Culture. First of all, I highly emphasize that you download the Essence 360 app. Yes, download the Essence 360 app. Do that. It will give you a great deal of information about everything that's going on with Essence. You can also go to my website, www.the100blk.com. We definitely will keep you involved with everything Essence. There is a link there that says the Essence Music Festival. You click on that. It gives you all the information about Essence. Hydrate. It is going to be hot in New Orleans. Hydrate. Make sure, no matter where you're going, no matter what you do, hydrate, because it's supposed to be hot this weekend. And the humidity down in New Orleans is unforgiving. It's unforgiving. Now, some things I know and some rumors that are out there and some things that I have no idea about. First of all, super lounges are back. The super lounge. Let me rephrase that. Not super lounges, plural, but the super lounge is back. However, it is an additional cost to get into the super lounge. It is I don't know if it's a separate ticket or is it a thing on your ticket, but either way it goes. The super lounge is not like it used to be. It used to be you could get up out your seat from the regular concerts. I know I did that with Gil Scott-Heron. One of the most memorable super lounges that I had was Gil Scott-Heron, because Gil was a homeboy from Tennessee, and one of the great first poets, in my opinion. And when I saw Gil, I got to see him in the super lounge. And so at that time, of course, I'm working backstage doing stuff and I'm able to maneuver. But then people, regular parishioners, not folks that working in the media or folks like myself that were getting interviews, getting content, as it is called today, getting content for their media outlet. I was able to move with everybody else and make my way to the super lounge. And the super lounge was like mini concerts that you could either sit and watch the main concert with that one ticket. Now, those times have changed. And unfortunately, that's not what it was. And let me let y'all know a few things. We are broadcasting live right now on Facebook and on Instagram, along with YouTube. You can catch us at the JDMS. So the Essence Music Festival of Culture. Make sure you hydrate. All the events going down in the Montreal Convention Center. All those events are free, are absolutely free. I believe you do have to register to get in. I believe there is a clear bag policy, but those events are all free. Those are all free. Don't cost a dime. And all you got to do is have your face into place. The concerts, there's different packages. There's three. I think there's still some packages out there available. I still think there are tickets available, but those tickets are going fast. So make sure that you definitely get your tickets from a reputable outlet like Ticketmaster. Don't go getting tickets just any and everywhere. Good morning, my brother Andre Cope. Good morning from the great state of Florida. He said Miami, a state and a city. I believe that, brother. Hey, it's like New Orleans. I tell people when you go to New Orleans, you go to the city, the state, the country, the continent of New Orleans. I think the same thing is true with Miami, Florida, because it's got its own culture, its own way of doing things that's kind of separate of everything in Florida. To be exact, everybody who normally goes to Florida only feels like there's one place in Florida. That is Miami. And that's like when everybody comes to Louisiana, they only feel like there's one place in Louisiana, that's New Orleans. However, there's a whole great state with a lot of other cities that got a lot of good things going on. Good morning to you, my brother. Maybe this is a time since Grandmaster Coke came in for me to once again send my condolences to the friends, family, the fraternal brothers and sisters of the good doctor himself, Dr. Andre Story. We're going to be soon sending my brother home. His spirit has already left to be with the ancestors, but we're going to send his remains to rest. And he was a great man, just a great man overall. And once again, my condolences to everyone who knew the man. He's still with us in spirit. However, I messed around yesterday and called him by accident. That's the impact the man has on folks. So once again, welcome to hashtag Truth Be Told JD Live. It's 9 minutes past the hour on this Tell the Truth Tuesday. Family, tell a friend to tell a friend. We are in the building. And woo, man, a lot to talk about. The big, beautiful bill. Let me start there. Let me get a sip of coffee before I even get into it. So it appears that this big, beautiful bill is about to go into full effect. And in the green room, I got my sister Jax. She's probably getting herself ready to get herself to come on here. It's normally myself, Sister Alethea, the CEO of Pimpin' Positivity. She's a little bit under the weather today. Please keep her lifted up in prayer that she recovers from, we all got these bugs going around, these one-day bugs. And when you have grandchildren and children, and they are always connected with other folk, they bring home all kind of stuff. And sometimes some of the stuff they bring home gets you a little bit under the weather. So she is under the weather today, but she will be recovering, bouncing back. You will see her, myself, Ignatius Carmouche. We will all be down at Essence for the Essence Music Festival of Culture. But like I tell you, when I come on this thing, I ain't by myself. I ain't never by myself. I ain't never by myself. Right now, let me bring her on. Give her a round of applause. It is my sister from another mister. It is the celebrity life strategist, the therapist, the author. There she is, Miss Fedora herself, man. You can't play with that sister with the fedoras, man. It is Sister Jax. Good morning, Sister Jax. How you doing on this morning?
What's up, JoJo? Snaggletooth Sister Jax is back today, y'all.
Oh,
What's up?
she said, I got that thing taken care of right
No,
quick. You did?
nope. I was there, Joe. I was on the phone with you when I was in the office. They was slow rolling. I called my insurance, called somebody else. So going in today to see what they gonna do.
Okay. Hey, ain't nothing wrong. Listen. I'm gonna be the first one to say this. Ain't nothing wrong sometimes checking out your options. And if option one don't work, go to option two, which might be a better option.
You know what, Joe? Option 2 Indeed is a better option at this other office. And they asked me to come in yesterday, right after I left the other office. So I'm getting ready to get on my way. And they called back and said, "Oop, we can't squeeze you in. Come tomorrow at 1." So I have a meeting. I have a meeting today regarding an RFP, which I got a call about yesterday. So I have to go to a government office this morning
Okay.
when I leave here. And yeah, so God is good. I still keep it rolling, do what I got to do.
That
I just ain't
part.
smiling as hard.
Don't feel bad. Shoot, I got major dental work that got to get done real soon, real soon. So we were talking about the big, beautiful bill. Let me start off with this, family. They have made it crystal clear that Social Security, for those of you who are paying into Social Security, which everybody is paying into Social Security that is working a regular job. If you're working a regular job, there is that part of your check that goes to Social Security. Well, they have made it crystal clear that by 2035, there will be no Social Security. It will be bankrupt. So question number one, I've been asking, if it's going to be bankrupt in 2035 and you know it, that's literally 10 years from today. I plan on still being breathing 10 years from today. That's why you can't depend on these systems, because putting your trust in these systems. And then, you know, I had in our former, and this podcast has been going for some years now, but in our former format, how we were looking, we used to have folks come on here. I don't see them on here no more, but they would always defend the Republican Party and Donald Trump and family values. Family values that as a person who has worked all their life and paid into Social Security, to hear now that you may not get one dime out of Social Security. Tell me, how does that benefit families? How does that benefit the elderly? How does that benefit you and I and folks that are forget black and brown, human beings who have worked their life?
Yeah.
And get money taken out their check. That you could have left that money in my check and I could have invested it myself. If I'm going to lose in the stock market, let me lose on my own.
That's right. And you know what, Joe? And what does that say for those that get Social Security and that's all they get? And maybe they're in a senior building, or maybe they have Section 8, which also might get rid of Section 8 as well. And now Social Security is gone, and they can't even afford their $400 a month, apartment in a senior citizen building.
Right.
You know,
right.
Or even their mortgage.
Listen, that I literally yesterday saw a Republican, not a Democrat. And this time I'm going to talk about party lines, because I saw a Republican say, no more free lunches for these, he called them rats, these social rats. Wait a minute. Don't get me wrong. I understand. And I look like the woolly man this morning. I really don't care.
You look great, JoJo.
But understand, and I say this from the bottom of my heart, understand there are a lot of folks out here who are the working poor. Sadly, Jax, I'm not going to put that label on ourselves, but we work hard and we ain't really got what we need to have. And here's why. We're being taxed, overtaxed. We're being leaned on too much to be the ones who, our class is the ones that get all the brunt of what has to happen to keep this economy rolling. And we don't get no relief. We don't get no relief when you're in the middle class. The upper class, they get all kind of tax breaks. The lower class, they get all kind of subsidies. In the middle, you working and you working your butt off. And a lot of us in the middle, we sick and tired of being sick and tired. Now, a lot of folks put Donald Trump back in office because they felt like he was for the middle class. Y'all was smoking dope. And all of y'all need to be drug tested. Because he is nowhere, shape, form, or fashion for anybody that looks like you and I. And forget black and brown folks, anybody who is in our tax bracket. Period. Prove me wrong. Call me up. Tell me different. Be exact. Let me put the phone number up there in case somebody wants to jump on here and do it. Because we used to have folks on here. Oh, family values. Oh, forget Kamala Harris. She gonna do this. Now y'all was so concerned about certain folks going to certain bathrooms, which, let me say this crystal clear. I do not agree with no man going to no woman's bathroom. I don't care how he look.
Amen.
If you are a man, if you look 100% like a woman, if you fool me and have me going, "Ooh, she fine," and you walk into the bathroom and you pull out the same thing I pull out, you don't belong in my bathroom. Period.
That's right.
But if that was the issue, and the only issue was let's look at this big beautiful bill. This big beautiful bill cuts Section 8. This big beautiful bill cuts EBT. This beautiful bill cuts a lot of disability. For some of y'all out there walking around talking about, I'm disabled, I ain't feel, it's cutting that. It's cutting a lot of social services and welfare. The big beautiful bill is cutting a lot of social services and welfare. So for y'all folks out there, oh, he would demand. Okay. Let me tell you this. This big beautiful bill will not only affect you, but it will affect those that you love. If it doesn't affect you directly, it will affect maybe your parents, your grandparents, or somebody you know. Man, look at here. See, that's how I know that God loved me. That's how I know God loved me, because while I'm talking this, then I really got the aficionado of what's going on in our culture, because he reads books about it all the time. He's in the green room. See, reading is fundamental. That's why I bring him on here. I call him, he is the new Black Lamar Burton of the ghetto. I'm telling you. That's what I said, because that's what he do. It's my man. I love this dude here, man. This is another one of my brothers from another mother. Sean P is in the building with the Sean P experience. Sean, what's happening, baby? What's happening?
What up? How y'all doing, man? Happy Tuesday morning. I am fresh off the clock and fresh on the air, baby. Let's get it.
Amen. Amen. What's up? What's up?
First day of the month. It's the first of the month. A lot of folks expect their check on the first of the month, especially if they're dealing with social services. That's what people used to say. Hey, I get with you, baby. Wait till I get my check. Well, your check might not be coming no more if this big, beautiful bill come through, because this big, beautiful bill might say that you haven't earned the check. What you mean I ain't earned the check? If I've been working all my life paying into the system, and this system no longer can survive for me, but I've been investing in the system. So all these years of my life, I've been investing into this social security system, only to be told that in 2035, no matter who you are, no matter how much you have invested, you ain't gonna get a dime out, because it is going to be all gone.
That's
Talk to me, Sean.
And you know what,
Go
Joe?
ahead, Jax.
You know what, also, a lot of people don't realize how much these services also impact people in rural areas, people that don't necessarily even look like us. So now when we look at the scope of it, you look at the rural area and you look at the urban area. How will it impact both places differently? Okay, well, the rural area, guess what? They have the ability to farm. They have the ability to have animals and chickens, and still get their eggs, and cows to get their meat and things of that nature. In the urban area, what do we have to still try to help us make money or be more sustainable, or even just eat to survive? You know what I'm saying? So they still have more of an advantage over us in some ways. So we really have to start planning now.
I thought that too, Jax, until last night I saw a special on CBS. And because of a lot of these grants that are agricultural grants that have been cut, because the agricultural grants were put in place by the Biden administration to help after COVID. Once these grants get cut, even the rural folks are catching hell. They were talking about how some of these farmers who have leased extra land to make more produce now don't have the ability to sell that produce to the individuals or the corporations, or even the nonprofits that were helping distribute these produce to the underprivileged neighborhoods, families, rural areas, because they no longer have the grant funding. You got to understand, nothing from nothing leaves nothing. Everything costs something.
That's right. That's right. So they may not have that funding, Joe, but even personally, they still have the land. They still have the ability to even feed their own household. We, and many times living in the inner city, we're not going to have the resources necessarily to feed our own household in such a way where we can get eggs and chicken. Maybe you might have a cow. Maybe you might have a goat to get some milk, as well as the cow, right? So at least, even though they can't help the community when those funding streams are cut, but they can at least help their own household a little bit better than we can living in the inner city.
Sean, talk to me, baby. Talk to me, Sean P.
When it comes to them urban areas, man, like Jay's talking about, people got to get real creative with having the little window sill things you can grow, the little things on the little balcony. If you have a balcony, like the creativity and the imagination got to really expand for what's coming up later, man.
That's
Yeah,
right. That's right.
that's real.
And that's when we may had the greatest inventions. Look at slavery. What we endured during slavery. Look at all the inventions that came about during that time from our people.
Mm,
So
mm,
God can put us in alignment so that we tap right back into our original essence.
mm, and you know, family, like it, leave it or love it. We've got to get to the place where we understand who we are and whom's we are,
Mhm.
and start walking in the light of the truth of who we are. You know, and it saddens me how so many times we want to argue, fuss, and fight. Look, I'm not trying to get a political fight here right now. And I wish I did have an Eddie Barnett or Douglas Guidry back on this thing right now. I wish they would jump on here right now. But of course, they kind of flow and go with certain folks they want to argue and fuss with. We're not here arguing and fussing no more. We here uplifting, inspiring, giving you a place that you can engage and have meaningful conversation to bring about a real change. So I'm not arguing, fussing, fighting with nobody no more. I'll let you say your point of view. I'll say mine. And somewhere along the road, we'll agree to disagree without having to fall out with each other and be screaming at the mic at each other. But we've got to do better at that, family. We've got to be able to have meaningful discussions where I ain't seeing eye to eye with you. And guess what? Me not seeing eye to eye to you don't make you a bad person. Don't make me a bad person. It makes it that we are both better because now we have received a different perspective and more information that we can step out into this world and see it from a different place. Come on, Sean P, talk to me, baby.
On that same topic, Joe, I would say that would entail me caring about you as a person more than the thing. So many times we want the thing to be more important than the person. If I care about Jax, my sister, even though we disagree on something, I love Jax way more than whatever this topic is.
That part.
The topic can never sever the ties, but like in our community, we got to get more so about, like, you know, I care about humanity more than Democrat, Republican, more than Christian, whatever it is. I care about you as a person more than any of that. I'm gonna leave it at that.
That's right. Amen.
That was powerful.
Amen.
That was powerful. That was, listen, family, what Sean P just said right there, crown that man king. That was powerful. That was king talk. I'm more concerned about you as a human being than I am the situation, the circumstance, or the subject matter, or me even being right, wrong, or indifferent with you, because my concern about you as a human being means more than all that banter and all that conversation. Come on,
Sean. They say something about it's not worth winning the battle to lose the war, right?
Woo, that part.
So I can win a battle with Jax. I can win a battle for this argument. Oh yeah, I won the battle, but I lost the war of having this person as my sister.
That's right.
What did I even gain in that?
Yeah.
I didn't gain no stripes from doing that.
So what scripture say, Sean? What profiteth a man to gain the whole world but lose his own soul?
That part. That part. Family, it is 24 minutes past the hour. At the bottom of the hour, bless you, Jax.
Thank you.
We will be having sports at the bottom of the hour. And family, get ready. The Essence Music Festival of Culture. Sean P, I told Jax to pack up bags last year. We tried to make it happen this year, but couldn't. But guess what? Sean P, Jax, next year, pack your bags. Get ready. Get ready. Hold up.
Hey, Joe, I'm packing right now. Well, give me a bag today.
Hold on, Sean P. You might get it. Since Sean P is closer than, if Sean P is where I think he's at, I don't know how his weekend looking. Sean, you might get a call from me talking about, I just need you to show up, meet me down in New Orleans. I need to put you in some places with a few authors. To be exact, Sean, Saturday, you might need to meet me in New Orleans. Let me just go ahead and put that out there right now. Saturday, I'm going to call you after this podcast. Saturday, we might set a time. You might need to meet me in New Orleans. Family, this is what it's about. This is what it's about, family. It is about helping one another. I don't know everything. Jax constantly blesses me with knowledge. Sean is my younger brother from another mother. And every time I talk to Sean elevates my thought life, my reading life, my ability to cipher out some things that I say, you know what? My stanky thinking, because
Joe, you went on mute, Joe. Yep, we can't hear you. Okay. You know what, Sean? I want to big up one of the brothers in the chat, Willie Pickens. He says, it's 10 years today that I'm retired from the Opelousas Fire Department, the rank of captain. Kudos. Thank you for your service, my brother. So it brings me to the topic of the young man that killed the firefighters the other day, right? I'm not sure if you heard about it. There was a fire, and a young man, 20 years old, firefighters came to put out the fire, and he shot and murdered a couple of them. And then ultimately he killed himself. He left no manifesto, nothing like that. But 20 years old, right? And I guess there was something about a car. His car parked in the wrong space or whatever. But it's so tragic, and people are losing it. People are losing it, coming unhinged. And I mean, you wouldn't think a firefighter necessarily would show up to a scene and end up murdered, you know, especially by gunfire, you know. So
I work at Amazon, right? I won't say exactly where, but last week we had 2 suicide calls.
are you serious?
And me being in my position, I'm the one that made the 911 call. So when the cops came outside and I met them outside to, have a little briefing, the cops said, "Wow, another one this week?" I didn't know what she meant. She said they had another call, a suicide call over here last week, a couple days ago.
Dang.
She said, "What y'all doing to him over here?" I'm like,
Dang.
well, people at their wits' end is my point.
They are.
People are really
They
the
are.
thin line, man.
And you know what? Even it's interesting you say that, because even here in Jersey, a lot of people out here work for Amazon are stressed the hell out. Meanwhile, Jeff Bezos getting married and doing his thing and, you know, enjoying life.
But see,
But
Jay,
the workers
people
are
gotta
damn
realize,
stressed.
I think July the 7th is Prime Day. So as consumers, we all say, "Oh, Prime Day, we're gonna buy our stuff on sale." I love Prime Day myself, but we're not thinking about the employees getting ready for Prime Day, what they gotta do to prep.
That's
It's a
right.
lot of long hours, extended hours, more days. Like a lot of stuff is happening right now.
That's right. That's right. And I always tell people, suicide is a permanent solution to a temporary problem. So whatever you're facing, it is not gonna last always. You're gonna be able to get past it, but you gotta believe that you're gonna get past it. And if you
That
have
part.
nobody on earth to help you get past it, when you tap into that most high on the inside and pull up your reserves and your inner strength, that's what's gonna help you to get past it.
Hey, I love another motivational speaker, Les Brown, the OG. Les Brown say, "If you think you're going through hell, then keep going.
Yep.
That
Like,
part.
get through
Can
it.
y'all hear me now?
Just get through it.
Yeah.
If you think you're going through hell, keep going."
Can y'all hear me now? We good. Okay. Look, let me bring in Elijah, the prophet himself, the sports prophet,
The most honorable.
the most honorable sports prophet, Elijah Nixon, in the building with sports. It is 29 minutes past the hour. We're gonna get this sports thing started early. Elijah, tell me, man, what's going on, brother? Talk to me. Talk to me now. Talk to me.
We got a lot of things, man. Your Steelers made a move yesterday with Jalen Ramsey.
We did.
LeBron James I think he's going to get traded. I think he's looking to get traded. WNBA added 3 teams. But we're going to start. I'm going to come back to you, Joe. I'm going to give you your time to gloat, to think, talk what you want to do about your Steelers. But I'm going to start off with LeBron. LeBron going out there basically telling the Lakers he wants to have a championship-based team. He took a $52.7 million opt-in deal. Didn't take a pay cut, which I don't expect him to. He's 42. I don't think nobody's going to take a pay cut at 42. But he wants
money
for a championship. Basically, he told Jeanie Buss and the rest of the Lakers organization that, look, if we can't find something, I think that he's indicating that he wants a trade. Now, I think that's the right way to go. You're 40, about to be 41, I'm sorry. And I think that this guy deserves to continue to compete for a championship if the right situation happens. Now, with that being said, I'm not biased or anything, but I just seen
where you want to go to. Where you want to go to?
I just see one team go out there. I think it's like the New York Knicks. And if that happens, if that thing breaks out, let me tell y'all something. I'm gonna come out and I'm gonna come on this show and I'm gonna say
the only way he going to the New York Knicks is one Stephen A. Smith got to stop being a Knicks fan, and that ain't gonna happen. And because of that, LeBron would say, "Baby, I'll play for the worst team in the league before I play for any team that's being pulled by Stephen A. Smith, because him and Stephen A. don't get along." Let me tell
you something about that. Stephen A. is only one person. There's a million of us Knicks fans. We love you, LeBron. We love you. We love you, King James. Listen to me. Listen, man. If that man come to the Knicks, I'm gonna come up here saying, "Start spreading the news." I'm leaving today.
Hold it.
New York.
If he goes to the Knicks and Don Staley winds up being the coach, then I'm like you. Everybody in the world need to go ahead and say, you know what? I'm a Knicks fan. I need to say I'm a Knicks fan if that happens. I'm a Knicks fan. Hold
Now,
it. But I
Elijah,
don't think that's gonna happen because once again, come here. I don't think that Stephen A and him gonna get along. And with that being said, my good friend Antonio Cope down in Miami, I feel sorry for you, brother. I felt bad when I saw it happen. I felt bad because you got hit by that black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow. What the hell are they doing in Miami? What the hell? What the hell is Barry? What the hell is Bubblicious? What the hell going on? Thank you very much. We'll take 2 of those, please.
With that being said, do you think that puts you over? I mean, because this is what I feel. With Mike Tomlin, Mike Tomlin always been on the brink. Everybody say, "Oh, all he have just mediocre winning seasons. He just gets us to the playoffs." Do you think this is enough to say, "Hey, Mike Tomlin, this is a Super Bowl team or bust"? Do you think this is enough to say this is?
I once again will make my statement very clear. I believe the NFL is a rigged organization, and just like I believe Peyton Manning, when he went to the Broncos, they gave him a Super Bowl on his way out. They shall do the same thing for Aaron Rodgers. I understand it. I'm saying it now. When I'm Super Bowl champions and gloating around, y'all can come back and say, "Oh, you said it was rigged." Yeah, I did. But guess what? Give me one more ring. Come here.
Yeah, I think so too. I think you guys, the Steelers, I think they have a chance to break that mold and go to the championship, especially with the addition of Jalen Ramsey. You know how I feel about Aaron Rodgers. I think he still has enough in the tank to get to the receivers, especially with Jonnu Smith coming in, DK Metcalf, Calvin Austin. I think that is going to be something to watch. I mean, I know my dad's a heavy Steelers fan. I wouldn't tell him that to his face, but I think you guys are going to be something to watch.
I'm going to do this for us, Elijah. People keep on asking that you and I need to do something, but here's what I'm going to do for this show. I'm going to bring Mel Blount on here, and we're going to just let y'all know what's about to happen with the Steeler Nation. I'm bringing Mel on. I'm going to see, can I bring him on middle of this month. Get ready. Mel Blount is coming on #Truth Be Told, JD Live. And Elijah, I'm going to connect y'all together where you can come back to him and say, remember the podcast? And I'm going to make sure he gets on your podcast where he can tell you about the grandeur of the Steeler Nation, bro, because we're about to get another ring. 6 put us in the mix. 7 about to take us to heaven. That's all I got to say about that. Like I said, get ready for that black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow.
Now, coming from the Steelers, now going to the WNBA, Jax, I know you live out in New Jersey, but they have a few new teams coming your way, especially the Philadelphia. They're going to have a women's basketball team, some brotherly love. We'll get some sisterly love. You got Cleveland, who's going to get a team. You got Detroit. Detroit had a team actually before, but they're going to have a team now again. And then I think that's the 3. I feel like expansion with the WNBA, that's 18 franchises now that they will be out there. I think expansion is the right thing to do. I really was hoping that it came to the state of Tennessee, not only because I'm here now, but I think it would have been great.
Where'd you want to go to? Memphis, Nashville, it could only go to 1 or 2 cities. Memphis
hey, don't call out Rocky Top. Bring them to Rocky Top too.
No,
Knoxville, baby.
Hold on. Let me say something. Let me educate you, my young Padawan. Let me say one thing. Certain college towns, you can't do nothing in that college town, but keep that college town like it is. Them college towns are the following college towns: Baton Rouge, Louisiana; Knoxville, Tennessee; Athens, Georgia. No matter what you bring to that town, it will never overplay or outshine. In Austin, Texas is another one. Great city. I think Austin should have more than just hook 'em horns. But guess what? Hook 'em horns run Austin. Just like the Tigers run Baton Rouge. Just like the Vols run Knoxville. Just like Go Dogs run Athens. Certain places you can't. Gainesville got a hell of a base, but it's Gator Chomp all day long. You can't hold it. Even in California, think about it. People who know SC understand, and SC in the hood. SC in the hood. But that part of the hood, SC run that part of the hood.
But this is why I said Knoxville being a part of it. I mean, I think Nashville will probably get it. But I think Knoxville, because one, the women's basketball Hall of Fame is here. So if you're gonna bring a team here, the women's basketball Hall of Fame is right here. Number two, They always want to name the team after Pat Summitt. Pat Summitt coached at Knoxville. She ain't coached.
Come on now.
She coached right here in Knoxville.
Come on now.
I thought Knoxville should be one of those spots, but I feel like the reason why they didn't bring nothing to Tennessee because I feel like the WNBA committee personally can determine what city they want to put it in. I don't think they want to put it in Memphis. I don't think they want to put it in Nashville. I don't know if they want to put it in. They just like, hold on, we're just going to hold off on that one because we can't. I don't think they want to name something after Pat Summitt and bring it somewhere else other than Knoxville.
Hey, and I concur with you. And listen, Tennessee, a lot of folks don't know, is a very long state from Memphis going to the other tip. It's a very long. To be exact, Tennessee is literally a state that borders more states than any other state in the union. So it's a very long state. My home state is a long state. To be exact, folk in Memphis normally don't have nothing to do with folks on the other side of the state. And other people on the other side of the state will tell you, oh, them people live in them flatlands because where Elijah lives is very hilly. You come to my neck of the woods, it's very flat. So we're both still in Tennessee. I will say this. I concur with you on that one, Padawan. You came through like a master. They do need to name it after Pat Summitt, and they do need to put it. They can't put it nowhere else but in Knoxville. Sean P, come with it, baby. I know you want to say something.
So, Elijah, you mentioned the amount of expansion in the WNBA. What's your thoughts on the amount of NBA teams that's selling their teams? Like, how you think that is for the league as far as all these teams, they kind of cashing out? What's your thoughts about that?
Oh, it's business, baby. It's business. They know the views and the viewership is going down in the NBA.
Money.
Yeah, so I'm gonna get my money while I can. You see, the Lakers jumped out. The Lakers jumped out at $10 billion. The Lakers, if the NBA was still, they would have waited to probably about $50 billion. The Lakers jumped out at $10 billion. Dallas, Mark Cuban gave his stakes away for a couple billion as well. In Dallas, these guys know, like, hey, you know what? It's going to be a different type of turnaround. Let me get my hands off of this one because the league right now do not know where they're going to get their viewership in the next couple of years. Now, with that being said, that's why I was talking about Dawn Staley yesterday. If Dawn Staley, I'm using it, she went to New York, that would put the market back high of watch it because there's people that don't even care about who putting the ball in the hoop, tuning in to watching just Dawn Staley.
But Elijah, do you think that would put her in a setup situation to where, like, she's so highly touted now? What's she doing? She go to the Knicks. Let's say they have a supposed losing situation. Does it make her look bad? Like, does it tarnish her reputation? Does it tarnish the glory?
I said that yesterday, Sean. I was like, look, if Dawn Staley come there, I'll be happy. Don't get me wrong, I'll be happy. But I know if she lose, oh my gosh, New York fans aren't the most.
Look at how many.
But
look at how many college basketball coaches that tried to go to the NBA and it didn't pan out.
Oh, hold on. But let me reach out with the force.
Go ahead, Jeff.
And bless y'all right quick. Caitlin Clark didn't leave out really in a winning manner, but that did not one time diminish her fan base of the folks who love Caitlin Clark. So you can lose and still win.
Mm-hmm.
I believe Dawn Staley is a winner even if she loses because she has folks who love her that much. And I think Jackson, I can relate to this because Jax has a lot of people. That celebrity life strategist ain't just there for no reason. She has individuals, first female coach in the NFL, very close friend of Jax. There are women out there who love Dawn Staley, win, lose, or draw, just like Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark can talk noise. She can do a few things. Her fan base is her fan base because she has endeared them to love her in her journey. So at the end of the day, I think that if Dawn Staley would go to any NBA team, not just the Knicks, because I think some other folks might look at Dawn Staley and say, hey, you could be a palpable head coach. I could see a Dawn Staley in a Miami Heat. I could see a Dawn Staley in a New York. I could see a Dawn Staley at the Lakers. I could see a Dawn Staley anywhere. I think she would. I could see Dawn Staley in Atlanta, which I call Atlanta or DC, which are both black meccas, where folks would say, we love Dawn Staley. And regardless if Dawn Staley win, lose, or draw, her coming will enhance his program. And ultimately, they will go into the mindset just like they did with Donald Trump.
Yeah.
That I'd rather put her in to build us up now and lose a little bit on the front end, but we win on the back end.
And you know what? Check it out. I've gone to numerous WNBA games, and those women roll deep. They are diehard season pass holders, season ticket holders. They are there. So imagine how many of those women from the WNBA, the visitors that only go to WNBA games, not necessarily NBA games, will now, just because Dawn is in, mash up to go to the games that Dawn is coaching. So I think it looks good. And then imagine if I take my 1992 Patrick Ewings and dust them off and get in there myself. I mean,
that's gonna be trouble. That's gonna trouble. You're right. Watch it. See that? You saw that? That was a crossover.
Hey, Jack.
Right.
Hey, Jack. 92. I was in the 5th grade. I had a pair.
Yep.
That was a crossover.
With the little ball on the side. The little ball on the side.
Come on. Yeah, that was the crossover. Come on.
Look, my Ewins was tight as hell. My brother was living in California and bought them for me to play ball, but they was a little too small. But because my brother brought them for me, I wore them every game. Toes like this in the front, but I wore them every game. Crossing them over, dipping them low, taking it low.
That part. See that? Watch that. Well, Elijah, tell us about the podcast. Tell us about what you got coming up, man. That's Elijah Nixon with Sports. The floor is yours, baby.
Yeah, so it's still Fitz Take. We still have it on all platforms: YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon. However you get you get a listening or a visual platform that we do have it on. We're going to be talking about some different topics, especially the ones that we just talked about today. We got Dawn Staley, and we go depth in that one. The WNBA team's going depth in that one, and more. We're going to have like a 2-man show coming up pretty soon. Just to talk about those topics, and we got a couple more interviews that we're going to land as well. So just keep watching, subscribing, liking, and commenting. We appreciate all the support that we can have. But before I go, Sean, let me tell you something, Sean. When we get the GOAT, and we hold up the 3rd championship in New York, I need you to learn that Frank Sinatra song with me. Say, I'm breaking the news.
We ain't did it since 19.
You know what? Elijah? I got you on that. I'm gonna get my lyrics printed out. I ain't gonna need them. I ain't gonna need them, but I'm gonna print them out.
Hey, bro, they ain't sung that song since 1973. They way overdue. Way overdue. Did Jax freeze? Jax froze. I'm gonna take Jax out. Jax froze, and we're gonna bring Jax back. Because Jax froze. Hold on, let me do this. Boom, boom, and bring it back like that. See there? That's how you bring it back. Bring it back.
Bring it back.
All right, Elijah. Listen, man, it's been a pleasure. Much love, man. We'll catch you tomorrow for Work It Out Wednesday. We're going to figure out what else we're going to talk about in the sports. My man, Elijah Nixon with Sports. Give it up. We'll holler at him later, Gators. That part of family. So as we were talking, man, y'all got to pay attention. Don't be caught up with these distractions. I understand that they are dropping bombs on. We used to have a song by Outkast that bombs over Baghdad. Now they dropping bombs on Iran. Don't be distracted by the bomb dropping, not to realize the bombs that they dropping in this legislation that will affect you, me. It will affect your parents if they're still living. If you have grandparents still living, it'll affect them. It may affect you directly. Because listen, there are some folks who have no other choice but to live on Section 8. So look, I'm not trying to down folks who are on welfare, down folks who are dealing with these social services. A lot of us are the working poor. A lot of us are putting in 40 hours a week and our checks are not cutting it. And we need subsidies and we need help from the government just to make ends meet. Because if we don't, then we got to make a choice between keeping the lights on or keeping food on the table. And we got to pay attention when people try to cut those vital services that literally keep you alive. Just saying.
That's right.
I'm mad. Right. My insulin. Listen, I'm a diabetic. I used to pay $25 for my medication. My medications went from $25 on day one when Donald Trump took office to $70. $25 to $70. Now, I'm not a mathematician, and I have never been that good with numbers, like in that manner to give you percentages, but that is a hell of an increase from
Yeah.
$25 to $70 on day one.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, I ain't happy about that. And guess what? Can I afford it? Yes, I can. Do I want to? No, I don't. But here's what I ask myself. What about those who can't afford it? What about those who can't afford it changing from 0 to 25 or from 25 to 70? What are they doing right now? What are they doing to manage their health issues? I tell you what they're doing. A lot of them just ain't buying the medicine.
That's right.
And then they're going to wind up in a terrible place of their health not being where it needs to be. And a healthy you is a better you.
That's right. And
Period.
people don't realize that even that 0 to 25, Joe, some people like will just trick out $25 at Chick-fil-A for lunch.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Or whatever fast food restaurant. But for some people, it's life or death. They really don't have that extra $25. They just don't have it, you know? And it just makes me think, over the weekend in Newark, they had at the Prudential Center, they had a Rock the Bells concert, LL Cool J. So my boy Redman and, you know, a host of amazing artists were all performing. And I saw a post from another hip hop artist that I know I'm good friends with, and another guy who said, you know, they showed a picture of this one young man who was at the show. You know, they were kicking it in VIP.
Mhm.
20 minutes later, they saw him going out on the stretcher, and the young man died.
Mm.
You know, so I don't know what went on. You know, the backstory of that, but he just died. He was fine 1 minute, 20 minutes later, that's it. You know, so life is so short and life is so precious. So we definitely need to make sure we're taking care of our health. You know, especially those that, you know, took the COVID vaccine. Still, you know, you got to monitor your health 10 times harder because we see what's going on, you know, with that, and we're learning more and more. I know a lot of people were pro, you know, vaccine, but now they're seeing a lot of stuff that like, oh shoot, maybe I shouldn't have, but now it's too late because it's in your system. But it's still some things that you can do to mitigate potential, you know, issues down the road. So we got to watch what we eat, watch how we eat, how often we eat or don't eat for that matter, and the quality of food, you know. So we definitely have to do things to pay more attention to prolong our lives the best way we can so that we have a longer, healthier life. But when the Most High called you, it doesn't matter how the hell you prepare. But for the most part, still try to live a healthy life while you are here.
And Jax, you said something that I want to drill in on for a couple of minutes here. While many of us need to take better care of ourselves physically, spiritually, and mentally, I want to get on the spiritual aspect for a second. Listen, y'all, this body is temporary. You need to take the best care of your temporary housing that you can. However, your soul is eternal.
That's right.
That's why I love Sean. That's why I tell people that is my little brother from another mother, because he makes it that you feed your soul good content with that reading, that it edifies your soul. Because when you leave out this temporary vessel, your eternal soul, eternal means forever. What have you put into your soul that when you're on the other side, you ain't on the other side as an infant, you are on the other side with some meaningful stuff in you that you can walk around the other side in glory. You can walk in the other side with majesty. You can walk on the other side, and when you run into Frederick Douglass, you can talk to him about some things that you read, and you can say, man, you know, in my time, this is what happened. When you run into Brother Malcolm, you can say, Brother Malcolm, I tried to carry the torch. I couldn't carry it as eloquently as you did, but I read and did my part. When you run into Brother Medgar Evers, you can say, hey, man, you didn't die in vain. When you run into sister that said, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired, say, I was sick and tired of being sick and tired too. And you inspired me in how you fought in your place at your day, in your time, when they didn't really give you too much to fight with, but I had tools to fight with, and I used these reading tools and things that you had set forth on the table for me as utensils to carve through these hard times and these times of us being the others, of us being in racism, and us being in just put in a corner. We don't want to deal with y'all. Listen, family, we got to do better because they paved the way for us to do better. One day somebody gonna look back at Sean P, Jackson, Joe, and say, they paved the way for me to get what I got. And I got to give them a little love, because guess what? By doing so, their spirits now are happy wherever they're at, because they heard that. They heard that. See, that's why you got to do what you got to do that people hear your name. Because as long as you speak their name, their spirits hear that on the other side. They hear that. The Griots know that. The Griots know that. I'm just saying.
That's right.
With that being said, it's 9 minutes. 9 minutes to the top of the hour. I ain't gonna start off with no closing words. I'm just saying, say what you want to. Jax, Mike is yours.
You know what, Joe? To piggyback off what you're saying, quite often in our communities, our kids walking around with Jordans and expensive jeans and having proms and spending all this money for the proms, and even for these little 8th grade proms, 7th, 8th grade little dances, they want to rent these luxury cars for these kids. Spending thousands of dollars on nonsense. And meanwhile, you look at their damn report card, they got a bunch of C's, D's, F's, not on point. And of course, you have some good kids that are still doing their thing or whatever, but still, do they need $1,000 rental car for the night to go to a little damn 8th grade dance for a couple of hours?
Invest that into their future education. Take that
Exactly.
1,000, put it into a bond, and have that prepared for when they do go to college or when they do get older. See, we too busy. We too busy trying to click, like, and share. We too busy. Let me show you. Let me say something. Watch outside of this elaborate Bezos wedding you just saw. Watch Oprah, Gail, Bezos, Elon Musk. Look at it. Better yet, every time you saw Elon Musk in the White House, did you ever see him really dressed up? That boy had on old Navy jeans, old Navy shirt, and an old Navy coat. Talk to me, Sean.
Joe, whenever I've been blessed to drive around some very affluent neighborhoods, my mentor said, Sean, look at the cars in front of these $1 million homes.
Prius.
The most
Corolla.
regular of cars. Sure, probably ducked off in the garage. They might have had a little Lambo or something for the weekend. I don't know. But as far as that every day in front of the house car, there wasn't no rims and raised up and the doors butterfly and the TVs and there wasn't none of that.
Not at all.
Bodies.
Prius, Corolla, Honda, a bunch of electric cars, bottom line, Hyundais, Kias, in front of these 1.5, 2.3, 4.4 $million homes. Now, they might get picked up in a Rolls Royce and dropped off at a very elaborate party in a Rolls Royce, but that's not their Rolls Royce.
And then,
that's
Joe,
another thing we need to talk about.
They get their cars and they get their vehicles and their business credit.
Yeah.
Not even hitting their credit. They're going to lease a vehicle with the business credit. Every 2-3 years, we're going to flip that thing. Every 2-3 years. And we think they got so much money. They got liquid money. They using these tricks and these systems that we got to utilize.
Hey, let me give you the best one. The best one. I can go back to, I got it across here, my hometown of Memphis, Tennessee. There's a man called Mr. Graham. Y'all might know him because he got a son named Drake. Mr. Graham, folks used to see Mr. Graham pull up in Rolls Royces, and back in the day, the Rolls Royce was the thing, everybody, but Mr. Graham had a limousine service. He started off leasing those limousines, and that's how he made his money. But guess what? That was his business. So when he got drove up in a Rolls Royce, that was his business. And he was leasing it out to some of the biggest names in Memphis, to the Presleys and to some of the biggest names in Memphis. So when folks pulled up in Cadillacs and Rolls Royces, that was his business. See, sometimes you got to think about your business aspect of quote unquote, I got to shine to get mine. Everybody not owning what they out there portraying. A lot of folks got renter jewelry. Hold it. Let's call it. When you see these guys, they don't rented that jewelry for the day. So they out there Instagramming it up, renting jewelry, flashing all this money. I didn't even know these days and times you could rent money. You could literally go and get and guess what? You don't even know if it's real money because all you see is a bunch of bills. You ain't really looked in close to them bills. You got cats out there showing money, showing this, showing that. When the truth about it is that none of that's theirs.
Yeah.
Shoot, I done seen cats on Instagram that I had to do some stuff with. They got all kind of guns and stuff, and when we bust up on them, all the guns are plastic toy guns. They ain't no real choppers. They chopped up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do we have a problem? Yeah, we got a problem. Because if I pull out the real blocker, your blocker ain't doing nothing but shooting BBs.
That's
Yeah, we got a problem.
And these folks have these big old elaborate dinners and luncheons and all that. That's a
Come on.
business expense. This is a business lunch.
Yeah.
This is a business dinner. This is a business vacation on the yacht and all that. That's business.
Hold up,
Yeah.
family. Can I hold
Come on,
y'all for
bro.
an extra 15 minutes? We got to go into this. Can I hold y'all for an extra 15?
Yep. I got 15.
Okay. Listen, family. Go on my social media page right now. You'll see me with a whole bunch of pictures of a whole bunch of celebrities. I promise you, I might have 2 of those celebrities' personal phone numbers in my phone. Out of the rest of them, they just pictures.
Mhm.
I don't know them folks. They just pictures. They're just folks that I ran into at an occasion or something that I was invited to cover because I am media and press. And you know, it was like, hey man, you want to take a picture? Most of the time, me asking, hey, can I take a picture with you? You know, and they saying, okay, no problem, let's go. I don't know them folk. And them folk don't know me. Maybe a couple of them we got to some real conversation and exchange numbers. And even if we did, it's not like I'm calling them every day. Every once in a while, you get that blessing. Jax got that blessing through her son. She's connected with somebody who I need. Jax, I need you to connect me with that person because I need to see them.
That's right.
This weekend. I need to see them this weekend. So I need to talk to you about that a little bit later. But once again, there's folks I know in sports. Yes, I know Mel Blount. Yes, Mel Blount graduated from Southern University. Yes, we've had some intimate conversations because of my connection to Southern University. Yes, I know Aeneas Williams. I used to work for Aeneas. You know, at the end of the day, there are intimate connection with people who are stars. But everybody you see me on my social media with a picture with, I don't know them folk. I don't know them folk. Them folk, we just took a picture, like that part. So stop that, y'all. Start evaluating. And listen, I just was laughing. I was going through social media while we were talking because I was looking for something. Man, listen, I may be just as vain as a lot of y'all because vanity is a monster. But man, I'm going through my timeline. I'm seeing BBLs. I see a picture of my man A+. Tell A+, I'm so proud of him.
Yeah.
But I'm seeing BBLs. I'm seeing women and men with almost nothing on. You know, hey, I get it. If you got a body and it looks good, show it off. You know, some of the brothers, I see y'all out there with the workout videos. I know what you're doing. I respect it. But come on, y'all. Make sure that you're edifying yourself and those around you to be better and do better. Because some of y'all ain't posting stuff to tell people to look better, do better. Y'all posting stuff basically telling folks to follow it. I look good and you don't. So gloat over me for a minute. I'm just saying, go ahead, family.
Yeah, and you know what, Joe, to piggyback, there are a lot, you know, my kids and, you know, I was blessed to be able to live in the Black neighborhood, but eventually go to a school with a greater education. And so I've been around rich people my entire life, even though I was one of the poor people, right? And to see how they dress, to see how they live, I've gone on numerous vacations with them. I've stayed with them for weeks in the summertime, you know, different breaks, and I've traveled with them, and I see how they move. It is totally different than how we move. We move differently. We always want to appear that we have more than what we have, whereas they are rich, but they want to appear to have less than what they have because they already know what they have. You know, I've been, you know, one of my closest friends, you know, growing up, she had a boat. Her and her brother had a boat. Her parents had the matching boat, but the adult size version. So we would go to Long Beach Island out here and hop on a boat and travel across the ocean and have a great time, you know, in the summer. So I grew up like that. But guess what? How they dress. Old ass sneakers. They might have a couple little pair of sneakers, dirty ass laces. You know what I'm saying? The house would be nice and clean, you know, but they still kept it basic. Basic jeans, basic t-shirt, not all fancy, no $300 belt, none of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? But then when you go into the hood, you'll see a damn sneaker rack from one end of the wall to the other, glass freaking cases with damn 1,000 different Jordans in it and Gucci belts and all these damn Louis pocketbooks and all this just dumb shit, basically. A bunch of dumb shit that we don't even need, that really adds no value to your life.
Let's say this, and once again, I don't want nobody to think I'm downing individuals who are caught up in a system that has never been fair to you since day one. But it makes absolutely no sense to me that you living in Section 8 housing with $25 rent and that you have a Mercedes parked outside of Section 8 housing that
Mhm.
you have, and some of it ain't real Gucci, Louis, but
Yeah.
you portraying that you portraying you big balling lifestyle when you know you pulling that all up to a set. Listen, take all that you done invested into these name brands and get yourself. Listen, they say per the Constitution, you really ain't a citizen until you own some land.
Mhm. That's
Get
right.
become a real citizen and own some land. But and then, like I said, I do not want anybody to say, "Well, he talking about folk. Look at him, baby. Everything I got it because I choose to have it, and your choice is your choice. It's just
Mhm.
to me not a good look when you pulling up a brand new Benz, not
Yeah.
a used one, a brand new Benz to
Mhm.
a $25 Section 8 housing project because that's where you live.
Yeah. And it's nothing wrong with having nice things. We all like nice things, but sometimes we just overdo it. And we're masking what the real issue is by just overdoing it. We accumulate stuff. We accumulate all these tangibles, right? But it's the intangibles that truly matter. What is your character? What is your spirituality about? How are you raising your children? I posted something the other day with this little young boy, 12 years old, and he was talking to somebody and he was saying how, why the younger generation is cooked. And he said the younger generation is cooked because parents too busy trying to be their kids' friends instead of being their parents. So many times the parents are wanting to make sure their kids are keeping up with the Joneses instead of, worrying about their character and their, mental state, their mental health, and their, ability to try to go away to school or do whatever, stay at your local school, but to do a good job, get them a tutor. Sometimes that's all these kids need is a tutor. They don't need
You
medication and
you
all this
you
other crazy stuff.
you'll see more kids with parents at dance practice, at football practice, at baseball practice, at basketball practice than you will at a PTA PTO meeting,
That's right.
than you will at a tutoring meeting. And understand this: everybody ain't gonna be Shador.
Yeah.
Everybody ain't gonna be Shador. Stop that. Sometimes you got to get your listen. Give you a prime example. A fella Tennessean. I know the man personally. T.O.
Mm.
Look at what T.O. went through.
Mm-hmm.
There was a time that T.O. was working at the local Home Depot.
Mm-hmm.
You go from the NFL, top receiver, folks. I remember I used to play T.O. on the game and be like, "Boy, come get me, because I'm about to get you."
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that the man didn't get no royalties from none of that. He got so broke, so bad in money mitigation. That's the point. A lot of y'all don't know.
Mm.
Thank you, Joy. Thank you, Jesus. 4 minutes past the hour. Some of y'all are so good at getting money, y'all don't know how to keep money.
That's right.
Brother Sean, go ahead.
As the resident book person, we knee deep in the summertime, the first part of July. How many kids are in summer programs right now? Reading programs. How many parents go and take your child to the library weekly, get a stack of books?
That's
Go to
right.
your local bookstore, get a stack of books. How much of that is going on? I would love to pose that question for anybody watching.
That's right. You know what? It popped up on my timeline yesterday with my daughter at 3 years old at the library reading books. Then she grew up, and her first real job was actually at a bookstore, black owned bookstore in Newark. And I walked in and she's sitting there looking like royalty with her little African skirt on and her t-shirt said "Make me a prodigy," and behind her is all the books and the African mask. And I snapped a picture, and then I found a picture of her sitting in the library reading books as a little girl. Then I look on my timeline, I see when I have my kids at the library getting their first library cards, and when they were small. So sometimes we don't even think about taking our kids to the library to get them library cards. And I always taught my kids, read a book, it will take your mind on a journey. So we have to try to impart that within our kids and let them know, okay, let's put the tablet down, let's take a walk or a drive or a bus ride to the library, and let's get you a library card. Let's spend about 2-3 hours in the library this summer. And in the library they have summer reading programs as well, where you could get prizes and awards and a bunch of stuff.
Let me give y'all a little economics 101 at 6 minutes past the hour. I want y'all to resonate on what I'm about to say. If you want to live a middle class lifestyle, your expenditures will probably be, depending on where geographically you live,
Mhm.
anywhere between $7 and $12,000 a month. I want that. Listen, middle class. I didn't say high class. I didn't say you big timing. If you want to live a middle class lifestyle, depending on where you live geographically, your bills per month will probably equal anywhere between 7,000. I'll drop it down to 6. Somebody might know how to finesse some things. Somebody might have a good mortgage, but between 6,000 and $12,000 a month. A month. That's how much you got to pay out for. Okay, let's just give a few. I'm just going to give a few items. Mortgage or rent, car note, car insurance, light bill, water bill,
cable bill,
cable bill, internet bill, clothing, watch this, food, and water. I just threw out 9 items. And if you add those 9 items up, you'll probably be at a high dollar amount. Talk to me.
Look, Joe,
gas. Some parts of California, like the lower middle class, they're like $100-something grand a year. Like the lower tier, $100-something grand a year in certain parts of California. Like, man.
Right, right. So I'm talking monthly expenses. Y'all, while we talking click, like, and share, while a lot of y'all talking wah, because that's what it is. Y'all sound like old girl on Peanuts when the little kid, well, Miss So-and-so, wah. Other of us out here, we are literally working our tail off because we have expenditures of $6,000 to $12,000 per month. Hold it. I did not add into out of the 9 things I said, 9. You did not hear me say college tuition.
That's
you
right.
did not hear me say tuition for a child that might be going to a private school. You didn't even hear me talk about the expenses that we spend on a monthly basis for our children. I just was talking about us and basic necessities. Wake up, family. I ain't talked about life insurance, health insurance. You didn't hear me put that in the equation.
Hey, look,
then,
Joe.
Hold
yeah.
Go ahead. Hold it. I want to get this out. And once again, they have made it crystal clear by 2035. If you pay, that's why I feel like right now in this big, beautiful bill that they're putting out there, they should go ahead and say, since we know that Social Security is going to be bankrupt, we don't take it out your check no more. Why are you taking money to go toward a system that you have already proclaimed will be not available in 10 more years? That's where you should pay attention and understand highway robbery of politicians, because guess what they're not doing? In the big, beautiful bill, they're not cutting their pension that they get for life because they have served as either a senator or a congressman or in some aspect of the United States government. They're not cutting their benefits, so why are they cutting yours? Go ahead, Sean.
I just want to say, that's why for financial literacy conversations, I don't want to paint the picture as people just buying stuff frivolous. We're talking about just living life.
Yeah.
You don't have the extra money to go and buy some land or go and flip a house or go and get all these stocks. And man, put some money in Bitcoin. That take extra income. That take disposable income.
Hold up. With 5 minutes left, and I told y'all I was only going to keep y'all, man, we might keep you longer, but we really need to wake y'all up to this. And stop falling for the okie doke when you see black and brown folks on here talking about that, about how they can get you instantly rich with real estate, this, that, investment, these, that, these, and the third. Let me tell you, behind every black person that comes on here talking there is a white person somewhere you ain't seen. You just the face, you the gossiping Gussie of the ghetto to attract more folks that look like you to fall into and invest their money into whatever you try to tell them to invest it into. And at the end of the day, most of the folks that invest, they lose all their money because they don't understand the strategies needed to build wealth. All they doing is trying to get rich quick.
That's right.
Stop falling for these get rich quick schemes where folks are telling you, I can show you how I did it. I used to be poor. I used to be homeless. Look at me now. I'm rich because there's some white person behind the veil like the Wizard of Oz who chose you because they saw that you were the gossiping Gussie of the ghetto or the gossiping Gus of the ghetto and said, oh, that person there can attract me a lot more folks who believe they can get rich quick, and at the end of the day, they gonna get a little, I'm gonna get a lot, and the other folks are gonna get that sad story with violins at the end. Well, it was an investment.
That's
And
right. That's right.
investments sometimes just don't go the way they need to.
And you know what this reminds me of? The African proverb: you want to go fast, go alone. You want to go far, go together. So, like what you guys are saying, even when you think about the household, like y'all said, it's tough enough. It's tough enough for the 9 things even that you mentioned, Joe, right? The basic necessities. It's tough with that. So imagine if you're always doing that by yourself, right? So the goal, how the Most High had it set up, was for the husband and the wife to come together, be under one roof, and do what they got to do. So now your child care expenses, some of them are taken care of because
I didn't even mention that, where in some places child care expenses can be anywhere from $2,000 to $4,000 a month.
Absolutely. Now imagine if we, put our lust to the side in some ways, right? Now, you know how it goes. Many times baby mamas, baby daddies don't necessarily end up out of a divorce or whatever. It comes from lust. 2 people got together, they were lustful, they have a baby, and now the man never wanted to be there in the first place, or the woman didn't really want that man in the first place, but now she's pregnant. So now she's got a single household, and now that man, may have his own household. Now the cycle begins. He's with somebody else. She's with somebody else. Now you got another baby daddy. Now or baby mama. Now you're taking on all this extra stuff, right? That you can't really afford by yourself in a single parent household. So that's why it's so important, because coming together is still a struggle, but it's better to struggle together, to try to make it forward to pay those bills, in a healthy situation, as opposed to trying to do it alone. All by yourself with a whole bunch of fragmented households. You paying child support here, you paying child support there, or a woman might be waiting for child support from here and there and never getting it.
Right.
So now she's really struggling.
Listen, we have to start having these hard conversations, and we have to start understanding. We've got to stop working on always getting, and learning how to maintain, and stop falling for the okie doke from those who look like you and I. Guess what? I don't have a problem with the colonizer or the oppressor duping me. They've been duping me since day one. What I have a problem with is black and brown folks that look like me, who have taken on the colonizers and the oppressors. They really read the Willie Lynch book themselves and said, guess what? Let me use this against my own people. Let me be the one, all for the sake of enterprise. And I don't call that enterprise, because to me, enterprise is when we work together to build each other up, to expand each other's knowledge, and to get each other all at a level that we're all winning. No, that's when you're out there straight up hustling your folks. That's why I call y'all the gossiping Gussies and the gossiping Gus of the ghettos. Because what y'all do is y'all don't tell folk that you really talking to these white folks every day. Y'all come out there with your kente cloth and ungawa, when the truth about it is, all you are is a plant. You literally a Black Judas, like the movie. You are Black Judas. You've been planted in to destroy. Oh, you dress like a Black Panther. You look like a Black Panther. You talk like a Black Panther, and you walk like a Black Panther. But down deep inside, you ain't nothing but a plant that the man put in there to destroy the organization. And we got to start paying attention to these people who have been planted, that talk a lot of noise, but when you really look at it, they not what they talking and what they walking is two different things. That's right. They give you a couple coins to be that plant, and some people so eager that they will sell out their own community for a couple coins. And I mean, and we've seen it time and time again. Some of our greatest, Black advocates, for fighters and foremothers, forefathers have lost their lives in organizations behind plants that you're just so greedy for $1, because all money ain't good money. And some people don't even realize that. So they'll take whatever they can get whenever they can get it, and they will shut you down or attempt to shut you down just to get that $1. Well, with that being said, Sean P., give me some closing remarks and let's get out of here, man.
Closing remarks, family. I want you to think about one goal, one thing you want to achieve, and attack it with full out effort. I didn't say 10, I didn't say 5. Think about one thing and give it your full best effort, one step at a time, man. Sean P. Experience.
Sean, I need one more thing from you. Tell everybody about your podcast and what you got coming up, bro.
Yes, sir, man. Matter of fact, Thursday at 11 o'clock a.m. Thursday, 11 o'clock a.m. on the Sean P Experience right here on YouTube. Come and check us out. I got CC Rice, Amazon best-selling author, talking about her brand new book called The Roots of Awareness. Jax would love it.
Oh,
That's why I'm talking about. Sean, I'm going to call you as soon as I get off this podcast. Jax, I'm going to be calling you too.
I
Jax,
got to put that in my phone today. So
come on. Give it up.
y'all already know who loves you. Your Snaggletooth girl, Jax. Jax loves you. If nobody told you today they love you, nobody told you last night, know that I love you, y'all. I sincerely love you guys. So go forth, be great, do whatever you can do in your power to change the world. So live the life you love and love the life you live, and may your reality surpass your dreams. Peace out.
That part. Listen, family. On the behalf of Alethea Crimmins, Alethea a little bit under the weather, so let's keep her lifted up in prayer that she gets to feeling better. Of course, she done caught a little bug from her grandson. You know how it is with them kids. My man Sean P with the Sean P Experience, Elijah Nixon with sports, and Sister Jax. Yours truly, Joe Dupree, in the building, telling you this: be better today than you were yesterday. And do something for somebody somewhere that no matter what you do, there's no earthly way they could ever pay you back. And always remember that there is no secret what God can do. What he has done for others, he willingly can do for you. For when God is with you, nothing or no one can stand against you. Y'all be blessed. We'll catch you tomorrow. It'll be hump day if we make it there. And I believe we will. Work It Out Wednesday, coming to #TruthBeTold /JD Live. Y'all be good. Be blessed. We up out of here. Peace.